Daylight Time tonight. Gale warning in effect from 4 a.m. Central Daylight Time Saturday through Saturday evening. Rest of tonight, west winds 20 to 25 knots, becoming north 25 to 30 knots. Waves 3 to 4 feet, occasionally seas around 5 feet. Showers and thunderstorms. Some thunderstorms may produce damaging winds. Saturday, northwest winds 25 to 30 knots with gusts up to 45 knots. Waves 6 to 9 feet, occasionally seas up to 11 feet. A chance of showers and thunderstorms in the morning. Saturday night, north winds 20 to 25 knots with gusts up to 35 knots, diminishing to 5 to 10 knots after midnight. Waves 4 to 6 feet, occasionally seas up to 8 feet, subsiding to 2 to 3 feet after midnight. Sunday, west winds 5 to 10 knots, becoming southwest in the afternoon. Waves around 2 feet. The marine forecast for the coastal waters from Baffin Bay to the Matagorda Ship Channel out to 60 nautical miles. Gale warning in effect from 4 a.m. Central Daylight Time Saturday through Saturday evening. Rest of tonight, south winds 10 to 15 knots with gusts up to 20 knots, becoming north 20 to 25 knots with gusts up to 35 knots. Waves 3 to 4 feet, occasionally seas around 5 feet. A chance of showers and thunderstorms late this evening, then showers and thunderstorms. Some thunderstorms may produce damaging winds. Saturday, northwest winds 25 to 30 knots with gusts up to 40 knots. Waves 6 to 9 feet, occasionally seas up to 11 feet, building to 8 to 11 feet, occasionally seas up to 14 feet in the afternoon. A chance of showers and thunderstorms in the morning. Saturday night, northwest winds 20 to 25 knots with gusts up to 40 knots, becoming north 10 to 15 knots with gusts up to 25 knots after midnight. Waves 6 to 8 feet, occasionally seas up to 10 feet, subsiding to 4 to 6 feet, occasionally seas up to 8 feet after midnight. Sunday, northwest winds 5 to 10 knots, becoming west in the afternoon. Waves 2 to 3 feet. NOAA Weather Radio KHB41 is the voice of the National Weather Service, broadcasting 24 hours a day on a frequency of 162.550 megahertz from the National Weather Service office in Corpus Christi. Transmitter facilities are located atop the Wilson Plaza in downtown Corpus Christi. Tests of the NOAA Weather Radio warning alarm device for the KHB41 listening area are normally conducted on Wednesdays between 11 a.m. and noon. During periods of severe weather, warnings and statements will replace normal programming. The following counties will be alarmed: Live Oak, B, Rufferio, San Patricio, Aransas, Jim Wells, New Oasis, and Clayburgh. For the Oso Creek at Corpus Christi. At 9:15 p.m. Central Daylight Time Friday, the stage was 9.2 feet. Flood stage is 20.0 feet. Bankful stage is 11.0 feet. Caution stage is 11.0 feet. Forecast. The creek is forecast to have a small rise to above caution stage with rainfall ongoing. The creek would then fall back below action stage by midday Saturday. Stay tuned to NOAA Weather Radio, local TV and radio stations, or cable TV outlets for the latest weather information, as additional rainfall could affect crest forecasts. The current time is 1:46 a.m. Central Daylight Time. Here are the 1 a.m. South Texas weather observations. At Corpus Christi, cloudy. Temperature 67 degrees, dew point 62, and the relative humidity 84%. Winds north at 16 miles an hour, gusting to 25. The pressure 29.89 inches and rising. Across the area, Navy Corpus Christi, cloudy. Temperature 71 degrees. Kingsville, thunder. Temperature 69 degrees. Alice, cloudy. Temperature 66 degrees. Brownsville, cloudy. 79 degrees. Laredo, mostly cloudy. Temperature 68 degrees. San Antonio, cloudy. temperature 58 degrees. Victoria, cloudy, temperature 63 degrees. At Port Aransas, winds were north at 14 knots. Air temperature 67 degrees. At buoy 42,019. Wave height 6 feet. Wave period 6 seconds. Here is the 1 a.m. marine roundup for the coastal bend. The following data are raw and unverified. At New Acis Bay near the mouth of the New Acis River, the water temperature was 77 degrees. Winds were out of the northeast at 13 knots, with gusts as high as 19 knots. The water level was 0.93 feet above mean sea level. At Ingleside, the air temperature was 66 degrees. Winds were out of the north at 10 knots, with gusts as high as 19 knots. The water level was 0.87 feet above mean sea level. At Packery Channel, the air temperature was 68 degrees. The water temperature was 78 degrees. Winds were out of the northwest at 20 knots, with gusts as high as 25 knots. The water level was 1.18 feet above mean sea level. At Port Aransas Ferry Landing, the air temperature was 66 degrees. The water temperature was 75 degrees. Winds were out of the northwest at 14 knots, with gusts as high as 18 knots. The water level was 0.77 feet above mean sea level. At Bird Island, the air temperature was 70 degrees. The water temperature was 78 degrees. Winds were out of the north at 17 knots, with gusts as high as 19 knots. The water level was 1.28 feet above mean sea level. At Baffin Bay, the air temperature was 68 degrees. The water temperature was 79 degrees. Winds were out of the northwest at 17 knots, with gusts as high as 21 knots. The water level was 1.30 feet above mean sea level. At Rockport, the air temperature was 66 degrees. The water temperature was 80 degrees. Winds were out of the northwest at 12 knots, with gusts as high as 17 knots. The water level was 1.09 feet above mean sea level. At Seadrift, the air temperature was 64 degrees. The water temperature was 77 degrees. Winds were out of the northwest at 11 knots, with gusts as high as 19 knots. The water level was 0.82 feet above mean sea level. At Port O'Connor, the air temperature was 64 degrees. Winds were out of the south at 5 knots, with gusts as high as 8 knots. The water level was 0.90 feet above mean sea level. The forecast for the Corpus Christi area. Rest of tonight, mostly cloudy and breezy. Lows around 60. North winds 15 to 25 miles an hour with gusts up to 35 miles an hour. Saturday, sunny, windy and less humid with highs in the mid-70s. Northwest winds 20 to 30 miles an hour with gusts up to 40 miles an hour. Saturday night, clear. Lows in the upper 50s. Northwest winds 15 to 20 miles an hour with gusts up to 30 miles an hour, diminishing to around 5 miles an hour after midnight. Sunday, sunny. Highs in the lower 80s. West winds around 5 miles an hour, increasing to south 10 to 15 miles